Why hello there, fellow Saturnites. Rodamont here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers. Episode 6. Setting up water combustion. Alright, so we have oxygen coming off this pipe, and then hydrogen coming off this pipe. So let's make a few more pipes. And then I combine the oxygen and hydrogen, or volatiles, I keep calling it hydrogen, but it's basically hydrogen, in a 2 hydrogen to 1 oxygen ratio to then send to the combustor. So, hydrogen comes off this one, oxygen off this one, and it's going to send out here to the combustor. So I'm just finishing the interior systems so that they're going to work on the exterior systems. And this is not temperature sensitive because it won't get hot until it actually combusts. So I don't need to worry about the these pipes being insulated. Except for maybe the 2 that go out the window. These 2. So it doesn't mix with vacuum and start cooling unexpectedly. Actually, I could probably gas mix inside. That might just be easier. There's really no advantage to doing it outside, because it's still going to be room temperature mixed gas. So then we'll want a gas mixer, which takes 2 different inputs of gas and combines them into some sort of mixed gas, so that we have essentially fuel. It also means that if we ever need to refuel our welder and we don't want to make like a fueled welder or a electric welder, we can use this here to do that. This is a gas mixer where this is input 1, this is input 2. So we want 3367. So it's 1/3 oxygen, 2/3 fuel. And then the mixed gas goes outside to the H2 combustor. And this is the pollutant exhaust. Cool. That part's done. We're going to need more cables. Awesome. Alright, let's power these bad boys on in the least ugly way possible. And I'm sure I'll need more. You'll always need more cables. So the regulator, and the regulator, let's set its pressure with the labeler. It's going to be a little easier. To 5,000. It's fine. So now it's set to 5,000 kPa. And when turned on, it will try to pressurize this tank to 5,000. So that we refill. This is also, let's rename it, not that it really needs to be, this is the oxygen pressure regulator. This here is the oxygen filter, or O2 filtration, H2 filtration, and the ice crusher is the ice crusher. It doesn't have a specific element assigned. Alright, so that's wired. Then our filters need to be wired as well. Maybe at some point I'll have need of data filtering, the data lines on this, but initially I don't have use for the data because I'm not doing anything with that information. And wires can pass through some pipes on like straight sections to straight sections, but you can't do like curves to to curves. So that's a valid cable, but you know, it won't always be like that. So that's like not too messy. It's relatively clean. And then there's more storage. I can get it back there, and there's more storage for the gases back here if I want to add storage. Although they would get a little... I might want to add the storage like up and not here so that this is walkable. But yeah, there you go. You've got some basic gas filtering. And hypothetically, I could do that now. I could grab my mining belt and actually show you this working in action. Because it's set up. Although, I don't want it to outgas to outside right now. So maybe, wait a minute. Well, the oxide can outgas. I'll do the oxide. So you can see the oxide filter. And what that will look like is it will, if I only have the O2 filter on, it will filter the oxygen into this area and then the nitrogen into this pipe. This pipe, hypothetically, is going to get pretty pressurized if I melt a lot of ice in it. So I'm not going to melt a ton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split half, throw it in, turn it on, turn on my filter, and then grab my handheld tablet. So oxygen is in the oxygen pipe, nitrogen is in the nitrogen pipe, as expected. The other thing is the ice crusher is trying to make it like room temperature, and I'm going to tell it, yo, I don't care. Be whatever temperature it wants to be. This is trying to heat it up for me. So I'm telling it, I'm changing the temperature settings to be like, yo, don't even try to change this temperature. I don't care. At least not yet. Because it acts as an ice warmer as well. Which is useful to keep it above freezing temperature so that your gases don't then turn to liquid or solids in the pipes, which would be a problem. So here we go. We've got pressurized oxygen. And then if I cycle this on, the nitrogen will go through the system and just get dumped into this this pipe, which acts as a coolant. So right now our coolant is going to be nitrogen. But as I melt more gases, more ices, it's going to be a big mix of everything. Then, as a result of all of this, I can then start pressurizing an oxygen tank for myself if I want to. And I'm going to turn this stuff off once once it's done filtering all the stuff. So it still has a little bit of oxygen and nitrogen left in it. It's not a big deal if it has some. But we have 518 moles of oxygen as a result of the... And then a tenth of that is going to be nitrogen as a result of melting those oxides. Okay. Filtering is done. That's how it works. Suit on, helmet on. Suit on, actually on. Visor closed. And I'm sure I'm going to need a lot more stuff than I haven't printed up yet. One thing, obviously, is going to be frames. So let's get the frames before I even bother going out. Because I don't have a platform to actually build in this stuff. Probably 2 frames worth. So I'm going to need 2 frames and 4 sheets. Is the airlock without a tank? It has this tank. So it has somewhere to put the excess gas. Plenty of volume there. Am I out of iron sheets? I must be. We need 4 at least. Okay, what else? The atmospheric kits themselves need pipes to make. What about the H2 combustor? H2 combustor needs 2 pipes, 2 cable coils. So I'll need 4 cable coils. I have 7. I'm going to need more than that, obviously. And then I need more pipes. Was that another sneaky frame? No, that's a wall kit that I never picked up. So at the very least, one more sheet. Oh, I had sheets in my bag. Whatever. Then let's get some pipes. And undoubtedly, I'm going to need more pipes than I'm currently bringing. I don't want to overprint and then have to go rooting around for material, because that would be really bad. And yes, airlocks work faster when there's pressurized gas available rather than through like a passive vent. So I haven't set up a fast airlock yet. I'll labor to do that eventually. Am I out of iron? Yep, I'm out of iron. So that's as much as I'm going to do for now. Okie dokie. There. So now I'm just building a platform to work on. I don't even need it solid. That doesn't really matter. Airtightness is not a consideration for this. So, my coolant should be put into a tank. And I'll put it into a tank like that. And this is an insulated tank. And I'll need more insulated pipes. But eventually I'm going to be dealing with coolant once the combustor and specifically the evaporation is set up. Because I need some way to deal with the 2,500 degree 2,500 degree steam that comes out of the combustor. So I need like a few, we'll deal with that later. But there's a reason I have it set up like this. Very good reason is because you don't want your coolant to get too cold because it will turn to ice. You don't want to get too hot because it might phase change. So you don't want phase changing to happen in a pipe because a gas pipe phase changing to liquid will break. A liquid pipe phase changing to gas or solids. No pipes can handle solids. But yeah, that's the TLDR. Oh, my air tank is low. I did just evac this. So let's
air tank low.
Go get some breathing air. And what is in this? It should just be mostly CO2, right? Yeah, I'm just going to outgas this to the airlock because I don't really care. Actually, let's now empty this out so I get pure oxygen in here. Because there's an advantage to getting pure oxygen. So put that as the new waste tank. This is going to be opened up and turned into completely empty. And then I'll fill it with pure oxygen. And the advantage of that is then I don't need a nitrogen filter in my suit anymore. I can just use carbon dioxide filters. Because I won't have nitrogen being introduced into my my suit, so I don't need a filter for it. So if I stick this here and turn the pressure regulator on, this oxygen tank is and while I'm inside, let's just open up the hood so I'm not using my own air tank. This is becoming pressurized with oxygen, pure oxygen, which will allow me to then get rid of this nitrogen filter. These two nitrogen filters that I had. They won't be necessary anymore. And this is drawing from my oxygen supply. And the pressure regulator is a little slow. But like leaving a can in there at all times will make it a little bit easier. So what I want to do is I want to prep this old air tank,
Air tank critical.
empty it completely out so that there's no wrong gases in there. So let's do that now. So I have my new air tank installed. Filter on, helmet down. Cycle out to vacuum. Dump whatever the hell is in this tank out, which was mostly oxygen, but some nitrogen, some CO2, some pollutant, which I was breathing, mind you. And now I'm going to be breathing pure oxygen, which is, which means I don't need a filter as much. It's a good time. Cheers. And JJ, thank you for the resub. Cruzio2, like long ago that I missed, and like gifted subs and stuff. Man, I missed a lot. Sorry. All right, so this is a totally empty canister, and we can start pressurizing this canister as a replacement for my current oxygen. So we'll have a hot swap. And I can afford the power to keep this pressure regulator on, and it's going to try to pressurize that up to 5K, which is not going to rupture. I never wired that up. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, while I'm in here, I might as well get some more insulator pipes, so I can connect my exhaust to the outside tank. So I need 2 more. 1 more. And I'll deal with that later. I'll actually set up a radiator and all that jazz afterwards. I just don't need to do that right now. All right. I got fresh oxygen. And turtle. I'm cheers. All right, it's connected. And now this is the pressure inside this tank is going to be a lot lower because it's a lot more volume. Because this tank can hold 6,000 liters of coolant. And the reason for that is the more volume of coolant we have, the less it can be temperature shocked. So if you have a little bit of coolant, it doesn't work very well to cool things because it only takes a little bit of energy to make it super hot. If you have a huge volume of coolant, you don't need to worry about temperature variance so quickly. So that's why I have a massive tank for my coolant, so that I'm not constantly blowing pipes and the like, and losing my valuable coolant. So out here, we're going to have the H2 combustor. And the way this works is you feed it mixed gas, and output is like a whole bunch of waste gas, some of which is steam and some of which is not steam. I want to capture it all, Pokemon style. So initially the waste gas is going to be super hot, but we'll cool it down so that it can act as a coolant. Because we live on a vacuum planet. This actually should be insulated piping. So let's fix that. So that we don't have problems with the temperature change of being in vacuum. So what comes out of here is like some steam and some really hot other stuff. And what we want to do is we want to filter out the steam for use and get rid of the other hot stuff to put into our waste tanks. So I'll put a filter here. Actually, well, yeah, I want more space. So I'll put it over there. And this is going to be our water filtration. Keeping in mind, of course, steam is still water. So an H2O filter filters steam. I mean, that should be obvious, but like, I figured I'd just state it anyway, in case. So this is going to be our H2O filter. And then coming off of the filtered is water. Steam. Hot steam. And then coming off of the unfiltered is coolant. It's just waste gases that are going to be really, really, really hot, but we're going to treat it as coolant. So out of the H2 combustor, we feed that to the filter. And for these, I don't really care about heat escaping, because heat is actually a problem, so I can use regular pipes. So I'll connect that with regular pipes. And then we'll need to run wires here as well. And then once we have the water, we put that through a phase change device with coolant to turn the water into a drinkable liquid so that I don't die. Because again, I have no renewable source of food or water yet. So that's what we're working on. Alright, so what do we need for this? We need more cables, so let's print up some cables. We need more insulated piping. More pipes. I'm out of iron, so you know, it's light out. Let's go get the iron now. Food and water. My food is a little low. So let's, before I go out, fill up my food and water. Is coal my only power source? For now. But I could make gases for the... Oh, I had a water bottle with stuff in it. I could make gases for the portable gas generator if I wanted to. Or I could make solar or whatever. It's just, power is not my immediate concern, so that's why I don't care. It's really, really, really easy to get a lot of coal to keep the lights on. So it's not my initial or immediate constraint. My immediate constraint is I'm running out of water, I'm running out of food. So looking for some iron. And the phase change device requires iron, gold, silicon or something like that. Copper, steel, silicon. So I have the steel, I have the copper, and I think I have the silicon. But just in case I don't have enough silicon, I'll get a little more. But I'm mostly out here for iron. Yo, where's the silicon? You tricked me? Just one little unit of silicon? That's it? Here's some. Terrain generation has dramatically changed since I last played. Like, when I last played, sometimes you would get just like one little unit of resource and then it would deplete. And but it doesn't really happen anymore, fortunately. Lovely iron. I like how fast it mines up. I like how plentiful it is. Yeah, terrain is crazy good compared to what it used to be. It used to be just like weird splotchy blobs of nothing that would fill up your memory and make long plays impossible to play. And they refactored it all to have it feel more natural with craters and actual points of interest, and they put a lot of effort into it. So it's just so... It's handcrafted now. It's not procedurally generated. It's so much nicer. Normally I call for like... Normally I would say procedural generation is better than static generation, but it's unnecessary for a game like this, in my opinion. Alright, is this... Yeah, this is all set. Locked, closed. Fired up. We'll do the copper first. Then the silicon. You don't want to mix them, because, like, there wasn't an alloy of copper and silicon. You know, you would just make a blobby mess. Oh, I have 2 things of copper. Oops. They'll combine into 1 bar in a printer. So I don't really care about that. But the reason I'm doing like a bigger batch of iron is if I did 4 individual batches of iron with the mold open, I wouldn't actually be able to hold it. I don't have the slots for it. So that's why I'm making bigger bars for inventory convenience. All right, suit off. Suit literally off, and helmet off. Shouldn't have kept that on. That's my fault. Let's print up the phase change device. And while we print that up, in order to build the condensation chamber, which condenses gases into liquids, we need steel sheets and steel sheets. So 4 steel sheets. I'm also going to need a radiator, too. A medium radiator, at least one. But probably more than one. Which is steel sheets as well. And the kit itself is Invar. So I'm going to need to make Invar. Oh! That is on a hydraulic pipe bender tier 2. So that's like a whole different issue, which we'll get to. So maybe initially I won't have a medium radiator, I'll have simple ones. But here's my phase device. So regular old pipe radiators are inefficient as hell, but like that's just how I'm going to have to cool my first batches of water. So, because I actually could make Invar pretty quickly. Yeah, maybe that's better. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the medium first. So in order to do that, I need to improve my pipe bender. So what that is, if you search mod, I need the electronics printer mod, which means I need to find silver somewhere. Because I have the materials for solder and Constantine, but I don't have the silver for electrum. Ooh. Is that worth it? I'm going to say yes, because I don't think I'll die in the process of finding it. Alright, helmet's closed, suit's on. Power's fine, air tank's fine. Yep, we're fine. I didn't make the steel sheets. The phase change device will probably be on new frames because I want it a little spread out so I have room to move. So I'm going to mine the silver come daytime. So I guess what I'll do right now is make some piping and insulated piping and 2 more frames and do that part because I don't want to go looking for silver at night. I'm not going to find it. Also, let's warm up the base a little bit, and I'm going to do that with road flares. Because I'm lazy. It's a party! It's a rave! Road flares produce heat, and, yeah, I mean, why not, right? Okay. The gas mixer is not plugged in, so let's get that plugged in first. And I'll just, this could probably be off. Yep, that's 5,000. I'll just run the cables like this. It's weird that they float, but they will look a lot neater than if they were not floating. Plus, you know, power drops from the ceiling is kind of like a typical thing. There we go. So now the gas mixer can be on and mixing the combustible fuel. Okay, let's power up, run power to this device, this H2 combustor, done, and then run a power line for that thing, which we might want to frame underneath it so it's not like half on, half off, floating and weird, but there we go. Now we have a power drop that we can connect to outside. I'm going to want some extra cables for the phase change device as well. And then as soon as the sun comes up, I want to go hunting for silver. So I'm sort of, if I look like a crackhead going, oh, where's the light? It's because, yeah, I'm on a tight time schedule and I need that silver. And I need it now! J.G. Wentworth, where's my silver? Alright, now that that's done, we are going to want insulated pipes. And regular pipes. So I think I only need like 2 regular pipes. And the rest can be insulated. So if you're wondering why my coolant is all insulated, I want to be able to control its temperature. And I'm going to be setting up like a special, well, not special design, but I'm going to be setting up a design so that I can control its temperature. So it's not just like, oh, whatever, just cool down from vacuum radiated. Because that would be a big problem. So let's do a batch of like 20 insulated pipes. I'm sure I'll end up using it eventually. You play this game in VR? I have no idea. Here, let's do a 10. Is dying allowed? It's allowed. I wouldn't restart because that'd be ridiculous, but I'm just trying not to die. Of course, it's the last metal I need. Let's also get 4 more frames. Because that will be a more comfortable platform to work on. And then maybe stairs for it as well. So I'll also get some stairs. Is the reason for the insulated pipes the hot gases? No, I'm actually more concerned about cold. So if my coolant pipes outside weren't insulated, and I wasn't actively using the coolant as coolant, the coolant, if it wasn't insulated pipes, would be radiating its heat out to vacuum, because that's something the game allows, and the coolant will get colder and colder and colder and turn to a solid. Don't want that. Alright, so that is the gas mix line that's going to go to the combustor. Got it. Let's put my suit on. How's the battery? Battery's fine. Put the helmet on. Turn the suit on so I don't suffocate. Because that's a funny problem to have. Yeah, okay. Let's go back outside. Oh, I didn't actually make the stairs. Do stairs need iron? I don't think they do, right? No. They're insta-kit. If you change the recipe, it only prints the 1. If you don't change the recipe, it will print as many as you have materials for. Unless you, like, hook it up to data or something. So, I don't want, like, 17 stairs. Alright, first order of business is to add frames so that I have more workable space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The stairs there. Weld it so I can stand on it. Because as I said before, like, structures outside the base are, like, really cheap to maintain, right? I'm not pressurizing it. I'm not, you know, it's easy. Still no sun, huh? Okay. I should have made steel sheets for the condensation chamber, but I hadn't, so oh well. I don't know if that's where I'm going to put it. I'm just putting it down for now. So here is the mixed fuel gas that's going to go to the combustor. And then... Oh, of course I don't have enough pipes. I'm an idiot. I did not count. I needed 5. I could move the filter closer, I guess, but, you know, it's whatever. 1 pipe is not going to kill me. And here is the water filter. And then everything that is not water is coming out of here hot and horrible. Hell, the water even comes out hot and horrible. But the hot and horrible stuff will then go to my coolant tank that's here. And the idea for the coolant tank is I want a volume pump and a valve. And I'll explain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a radiator, which allows for gas to cool in vacuum. But I want essentially the ability to turn the radiator on and off. Because if I have it radiating all the time, and I don't use my coolant will eventually freeze. Or liquefy, really. And then blow the pipes out. And then I lose all my coolant. So what I'm going to be doing instead is I'll have a valve which will allow the gas to freely flow into the radiator loop to get cool. And then when it's the right temperature, and this will be manually controlled at least initially, then I turn off the valve and turn on a volume pump to suck all of the coolant back into the tanks where it is temperature stable. If that makes sense. So what I'll probably end up having here is a frame that has a radiator on it where I have valve and a volume pump there that I can switch on and off from inside my base to control the temperature of my coolant. And then I'll have like a digital readout that I can tell the temperature of the coolant so I know whether to be running the radiator or not. This will be manually controlled at least initially. I can probably automate it later on if it's important to automate later on. But on first pass, I don't intend to automate it. I intend to just let it go. And do manual control. Anything here? Yeah, let's put a CO2 filter in my suit. Actually, you know what I could do is I could use up all these filters. That one's at 0. Yoink. Okay, cool. Power's fine. Nice. Okay, so let's make another regular pipe, make some more insulated pipes, and then as soon as the sun comes up, look for silver. Because the silver will allow me to make electrum, which is required for the printer mod, which is then required for the hydraulic bender, pipe bender mod, and so on and so forth. Oh, and I also wanted one more frame. To be able to put my radiator on. But I have the iron sheet for it already. Oh, sun's coming up. Let's go mining. Swapping out on my batteries, my ox tank. I can just hot swap. Because all that was left in my old ox tank was oxygen, so it's not like this thing has anything but oxygen in it, and I'll prove it. Right? It's still 100% pure oxygen, because I never, like, swapped it weird or anything. I didn't hot swap it for, like, a waste tank or whatever. So now the pressure regulator is going to fill that back up with fresh oxygen. So I can just oxygen swap whenever I want like that. It's awesome. Alright. We are looking for silver. So let me update the priority. Find silver for electrum. So a little recap. If I want to make the mods, I really ought to make a batch of electrum, invar, constantin, and solder. Electrum is equal parts silver and gold, so I'm going to want like 50 silver, 50 gold. So I have 100 electrum. Invar is iron and nickel. I already have tons of nickel. I have 200 nickel, so I don't need to find the nickel, so I should get some iron, but irons is everywhere, so it's not a big deal. Constantin is copper and nickel. I already have all the nickel, so I'm going to want copper. And then lead is iron and... or solder, rather, is iron and lead. So I'm going to want... I already have the lead. So in terms of... ignoring the fact that I need iron and copper for some of it, because it's common enough, I don't need to call it out right now. because I can find it in the dark. I'm looking for 50 units of silver for the electrum, because I can easily source everything else. And I haven't found silver yet. So that's the goal. Find silver. Oh, you know what? I want to free up some space in my inventory. So I can collect more stuff. So let's use this real quick. Only take a second. And then I don't need a network analyzer. So now I have a little bit more space. I also don't need a labeler either. Realistically, I don't really need the tracker, but just in case I get lost, it's helpful. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers, which originally streamed live on Twitch as a marathon, one time only. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I am not, however, looking for feedback. I asked for no backseating for the series, and also, because this streamed one time only, feedback wouldn't be able to be incorporated anyway. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodamont.com also has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that made it all the way to the credits. So thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Stationeers.